Yo, Comedy Lounge.
Yeah.
What's up, bro? Good
Make
morning.
sure you subscribe.
Good morning.
See
Good
the
morning.
button?
Good morning. Good morning. Yo, guys, listen. We're gonna get into detail on my boy. What do you want the Comedy Lounge to call you?
Oh, geez, something different every time. Hopefully,
No, serious. Like,
It'll work best because
what's
I'm
your
not-
name? Because you're gonna be
it's
famous.
going to be numbers. No, I'm not. I'm going to share that. I want the. I'll tell you what. Personalities are. What do they call them? Infectious? No, that's not the right word.
Infectious.
No, what is it? They know what it is, but that's the way it goes. And I'd say, on a day like today, it started out like 65 degrees. Now we're up to about 78, good humidity, and it's kind of feeling like Mexico. It's feeling like the best morning in the summer, and I think it feels kind of like when we were children.
Yeah.
Whatever you wanted to play with back then, but now we're old enough, and we've got skills that we haven't been using. We've been sitting at our jobs.
Yeah.
We've been ultra responsible around everybody else. We're not playing, but we still can. You know, I'm 35. You got like 10 years on me, 9 years on me, 44, 45. But everything still works, especially with your hand. Everybody's got a good hand
How did you know that?
because all humans are the same.
Okay, hold on a minute. Let's not get off the point. What do you want us to call you?
Something different every time.
Something different every
On
time.
a day like today,
On
let's
a
go
d-
with
Let's go with what?
the rapper from El Salvador. What's his name? The El Salvadorian.
El Salvadorian
The
rapper?
South Salvadorian. I'm the South Salvadorian.
Yo, we're with the South Salvadorian. All right, listen. I want you to break down, like, what.
They built a pyramid. They got a pyramid down. Oh my gosh. Mine. That's mine. Hey, mine.
They built a pyramid.
It's Egyptian.
All right, listen. As far as your parents, you never knew your parents?
Like everybody else, now that we're old, hopefully we don't know them. Once we walk out the door, we don't know them. They like to be them. They like to have their own life. Before we were born, they were just like us. We don't know them. We should not know them. If you're born in 2003 and your mom's born in 1983, she got 20 years of something you'll never know, but you get the stories just like off of TV. You can know your mother just like the people on TV, but the way it worked, you get bored with your mom. Now the TV's new and fresh, but the TV's just a flat piece of paper. We like to live, so we take stuff, you see it on TV, practice it. You see it on YouTube, practice it. We share. That's the YouTube community, really. I was raised on YouTube.
So, were you in foster homes?
Yeah, I've done that. I had four different foster homes that I recall. I think I got the whole gambit. I had I won't get into the details of that because we all got something like that. Even if you've been with your same mom and dad from the start, you had your friends where you go babysit. That's your foster mom. That's your foster dad.
Okay.
You really get the story from Philly because that's my cuz or whatever. Nobody's gonna stop playing to be like, oh, you're really second cousins, let's write it down. Nobody really gonna do that. They keep it simple and go forward, but you're not gonna know. You won't really know. You should know if you're doing it right.
All right. So basically your childhood was in and out of foster homes?
Babysitting too, in and out of babysitting, in and out of elementary school. The snowfall, February 1996. Remember February 1996? We had 24 to 30 inches. With the wind blowing, we had 6 foot, 7 foot, 8 foot. I get wheezy.
Wow,
I'm gonna stay on
I
point.
think I remember that.
The igloos we'd build, the snow plow. Now it's getting sunny. That stuff, all that stuff. Yep, we done it. 96. That snowfall was great. The best part about the snowfall in 96 where I was, not only did we get the 2 feet of snow, then it turned to be about 33 degrees for about like 8 hours overnight. And we had about a ½ inch of ice, crispy ice right on top. I was little, I was probably 70 pounds back then. We'd walk real soft and then just sink 2 feet. It'd be like up to here on me.
Yeah,
and then
that's
you're
fun.
stuck.
Yeah, that's fun.
I remember trying to run across my backyard. By the time I got to the other side, this was only an acre.
Yeah.
Trying to move 2 feet of snow with ice, just running through that. It's kind of like, trying to like running in the water, running in the water. It gets easy, you get light, it's fun.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, but the town was good last night. Everybody was good. People had a lot of fun last night.
So in your childhood, you basically was in Philadelphia, right?
Right outside of Philly until I was 9 years old.
Until you were 9.
Yeah, it was April in 94. April in 1994. Great spring. It was springtime, normal springtime. What I did was I only knew the city then when I was young. I knew, well, I'll be straight with you. Upper Darby back then was like the suburbs, kind of like this. But this is big. And what I'm trying to get to is when you go back to where you were born, everything's closed and tiny. I went back to the house when I was, I must have been 8 years old. And I looked at the yard. I used to play baseball. We had first base on the post. We had a little tree for second base, and then third base was the other post. And I get there, it's like 3 steps to get to first. I can't play baseball in that anymore. But that's what it's like when you go around. I get here, this feels like a suburb of Philadelphia to me back in 1990.
Yeah.
That's what this feels like.
Okay.
Because it's got the mix of everything, but it's big. We got wide streets here. It's really neat what they got going on here. In 94, we had a good spring, and I made the transition from the small town outside of Philadelphia to a nice farming town that was in Downingtown, Pennsylvania. They were really good in football. In 1997, they were the champions, and they weren't supposed to be the champions. Downingtown is an underdog compared to, we got North Penn and stuff like that in Pennsylvania. Big schools. Downingtown did great that year. I moved from Philadelphia, and I think that when you make a move in the springtime, when it's coming from winter to summer, everything's changing anyway. It was pretty seamless. I don't really remember too much being totally different except for the pools. We didn't have many pools back in the city where you could go swimming. And they tried to teach me how to swim in 4th grade by putting me in a pool. And I could do it and everything. I remember it. But one thing I do remember, the richer people, they were already ahead. Their parents had them in the pool when they were 2 or 3 years old. And I thought that was kind of neat. The first time I get into the pool, they took me down to the deep end, and I was like, all right, what's the difference? I didn't really understand that you're supposed to be afraid that it's the deep end. Didn't make any sense to me. And we had to swim across the pool and back. It was only about a week later, things fell apart for my living situation. I was living with a guy who, he might be my father, 2 other half brothers, And all I remember is the house became a mess. I had a kitty cat, and there was, I'm gonna put it down to a leak in the bathroom. Typical house. Walk in first floor, we had living room, dining room, kitchen, and steps. When you go upstairs, you got the bathroom. Once we got a leak in the bathroom, came down into the kitchen, then we had drywall falling down, all that type of stuff. The house became a mess, and the dude that the 3 people I was living with, they're all old now, 40 years old, 37 years old, 52 years old, I'm 35 years old. The other 3, they ended up going to the hospital to get some help. I walked to the one dude's fiance's house. He's supposed to be my dad. I walked there.
How is he supposed to be your dad?
I didn't test him yet.
Oh, you didn't test him?
I'm not going to give him a test. I'm not going to say, let's test it. Let's see if yours was the one that got to her to make me.
All right, but what
Nobody's
makes you
gonna do
think
that.
what makes you think he was your dad?
He used to say it. Everybody used to say it.
Oh, yeah?
But I was 9 years old walking around back then. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't remember. I'll tell you what. It's a very interesting thing when you try to go back to your first memory and then remember forward. What's going to highlight in your mind are the things that may have been lies. The stuff that you were raised on that's a cornerstone of the truth in your mind. The stuff that you believe. I believe he's my biological father. I believe the other one's my biological mother. I believe that the 2 brothers are my brothers. But as time goes on, the way it works in a family, you're not going to tell a 4-year-old girl that may not be your father. That man is your father. By the time she's going to be 14, 15, she's going to hear mom and dad arguing. Mom and dad's going to throw something out there like, you at the party, and then the little girl that was 4 years old, she's conflicted. That stuff, that type of thing, it's normal. Now I'll bring it back to my story. I remember being about 3 years old. At 3, I think your memory starts to become pretty consistent. But I also remember being 2 years old. And I think that's my favorite memory to go back to. At 2 years old, I got this house. It's I'm gonna describe it as not our house, like a friend's house. There was a nice 3-season room, and then after that there was a nice living room, and then a kitchen, and a place to do laundry. When you're that young, the stuff that really sticks with you are the things that you were learning with, the things you pick up. You're gonna remember the carpet, a lot of carpet from when you were young. I remember this carpet was brown shag carpet, just like what was popular in the 60s and 70s. The things that you play with, we play with balls, we play with pencils and sticks. Those are the things that they're like your first sports as a child. How to use your hand.
Okay.
That's like a sport. It's very simple to move each finger. You have 5 of them, but they're really fine-tuned. You can do a whole bunch of stuff. Let me get this here, because we weren't allowed to play with lighters and stuff like that. But these things that you play with, you can play with them a whole bunch of different ways. It's really something that a baby does. And it links you back to your first memories. When we're little, it's mostly what's on the ground. That's what we got. And we learn by hitting our head on stuff, because we're always, looking for our last toy, or we're doing this and that. I like the memories from when I was 2, because it really brings me back to the first time I was able to use my hand. And I think that when you do that, you get maybe something like 95% of your focus on your hand. And you might be able to get close to like a flawless hand, something that won't ever drop.
Yeah.
Because you got 95% focus.
Uh-huh.
But if in the world, if you got things like somebody arguing over there and then somebody in a whip burning out, now you're down to like 70%. And something might drop because you become alert. And the more important thing isn't about what you're dropping. It's about, you know, basically survival and everything. I'm gonna go back to when I was 2. It's mostly about what's on the floor, mostly about what you like to play with, and you get that encouragement. I don't really subscribe to this. A lot of people believe that you'll never remember, or pardon me, some people say you'll never forget the sound of your mother's voice. But I don't have that. By the time I was 2, after 2, my mom and my dad, those two, had an argument over dish detergent, laundry detergent. Remember I was telling you?
Really?
Yeah, and it was really about my father's cigarettes. He kept threatening to quit smoking because he wanted to be a good influence on us. And the lady kept yelling at him, and the 2 half brothers that I lived with ended up finding his whole pack of cigarettes and broke them up in halves right behind the couch. Somebody found that, whether it was the male or the female, I don't know, and they started to fight over that. It's something really, really simple. By the time I was 3, now I was just moving around with the guy. With the dude who's my father. I just started moving around with him and then my other 2 half brothers or brothers, whatever they are. And I mean, it's a really complicated life. I hope everybody gets to go through it. It's a part of what makes you up, and it's a part of all the positive things. Sometimes it gets sad and everything. Yeah, everybody, even grown men, are going to shed tears. But you really want to go back to when you had your perfection. When you're a baby, you're like a blank computer with no software added, and the computer works fast right out the store, real fast. 2 years later, after being on YouTube and everything, it's got all those memories from the sites that you visited. They're called cookies.
Yeah.
You can go in your computer, clean up your cookies, and have it run a little bit better. The human mind is just the same. When you go back, this is the neat part.
Wow, bro, you're blowing my mind because I'm starting to really.
Hold on. Let me just explain this. The neat part about the human mind is you don't have to go in there and delete the cookies, delete the memories or anything. They stay there. But if you focus on the skills that you were focusing on when you were little, then you get back to that 95% perfection, 96% perfection. You know, your coffee almost got hit. So I went to, as soon as you're distracted, your percentage of perfection goes down. If you can be in a room, in a cube, just with you and with some things to flip around, you'll find perfection pretty quickly.
Wow, that's definitely, I understand that. What is that? How'd you just stick that on there?
Oh, it's a neat little trick. I found a magnet.
Oh, it's a magnet?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. All right, bro, listen, I'm going to get going, but I'm going to check you out in a little bit.
Yeah, subscribe.
All right, yo, listen, what did we call you?
Oh, the Southern South Salvadorian.
Yo, the Southern Salvadorian. Yo, we love you.